Hello, guys. Welcome to our Unpacking Test podcast, a podcast where literature meets society. So, my name is Esona and I'm here with amazing partners, which is Ayanda Tomo.
Hi.
And Zesipo Miano. So, we are just going to dive into Ken Temba's Mob Passion Drumgate story, a very, very powerful story that explores tribalism by showing marginality, power, love, control, and violence. Temba's story is not just about love and romance, but about how apartheid laws and community conflicts made intimacy across ethnic lines a dangerous act. So, let's come and unpack how social structures shape relationships, on how certain groups become excluded or separated, and also on how power controls the lives of ordinary people. So yeah, guys, come here with us as we just going to explain more or give a depth analysis, understanding, and meaning of the story. And to you guys, what do you have today? What do you want to tell us?
Alright, so before anything else, we should start by looking at the theme of race. So as we all know that in the 1950s, the apartheid laws were already passed. So this meant that black people had to be monitored where they live, where they work, and how they are treated as human beings. So looking into the story, one of the most important aspects is to look at how racial and ethnic identities become barriers of intimacy. So by this we look into the relationship between Mapula and Linga. So yes, okay. So as I've said that the apartheid system controlled where black people lived. The system placed people according to their tribes, right? So Mapula was Sotho and Linga was Xhosa, so they live separately, and unfortunately their tribes were enemies.
Oh yeah, that's where we see the tribalism.
Yes, so they fell in love and they knew that their love was forbidden. They were not supposed to fall in love in the first place. So when the Basotho mob, also called the Marashian, learned that Mapula, one of them, was in love with a Litebele, they became furious and they ended up attacking Linga and eventually killed him. So in the story, the hostility of the mob is not just about love or jealousy, but it is about a society that is obsessed with segregation. I mean, we see that the apartheid system separated people according to their race, but also black people also separated themselves according to tribes. So that's why we see segregation.
Adding on what you've said,
I
will say that it shows that apartheid laws placed black communities with
according to
their tribes,
yes.
Which forces segregation within black communities.
Oh, so with what being said, guys, so what we have see another important part of the story, that the apartheid actually destroyed or damaged relationships within black communities, because instead of black people uniting, they are violating each other. There is fear, but they live under fear. So we actually see this in a story where Mapula and Linga are sitting under the tree. Linga says, no dear, nothing can reach and harm us here. He is telling his lover that in the place that they are hiding, there is nothing that can reach them. Like, they are trying to run from the societal violence, because they know that their society is dangerous. So it shows how the racial segregation shaped the people's mind, because even the more pressure is actually the one that drives those people into what has been like making them to survive in harsh ways, as they hide their love, because they know that the society, they are risking their lives to protect their relationship.
Okay, so I think Themba, the author of the book, portrayed the mob as villains or as victims of the apartheid system.
The author actually portrays them as the villains because we see that they are the people. Yes, they are the people who destroy other people. They are the people who are violating others within within black communities or society. As you can see that the mob is the one that even kills Linga. And like and at the end of the story, we see that Linga is killed. It's because of that mob. So the mob is the villain because that's actually people who are committing those crimes.
Okay, guys, I hear and understand you, but I would like to oppose with you. I would say that the story are portrayed like as the victims because I feel like they are angry, and I feel like since they are angry, they should do more violence so that they can.
So again, I see where you are actually going. That if they commit more crimes or violate other people, they are taking out those frustrations. They are making them. But it does not give them the reason or a credit to do that because as black people they should unite. And
I think that the way that are reacting to see certain situations, I feel like that situation or the things that they are doing are shaped by apartheid, which they are that time they believe that violence is the key to the things.
Supposed to be as it has happened. It was only like supposed to end from like racist, not tribalist, because now they are being tribalistic. So,
guys, leave
your comments, guys. We're gonna wait for your
the comment section. What are you guys saying?
What do you guys think about that? Okay.
Let's move to the theme of gender. We're gonna dive in and talk about more what gender is diving in the story. I feel like that women and men were made to feel equal, which means that men have more powers than women, and women are powerless and voiceless in certain situations.
So, okay, in the story, men are often associated with aggression, dominance, and control, right? So, let's look at the mob. The mob is led by a man. Yes.
Okay.
Uncle
Alpha.
Yes,
okay.
Mapula's uncle. And then, okay, besides being led by a man, it is also driven by masculine violence and energy. So we see this in the story where Themba notes that the crowd roared with masculinity, right? Or masculine pride. Yes. On the other hand, women were often placed in vulnerable and silent positions in the society. I mean, even though they were part of the mob, they always watched and they always watched from behind, and they only observed, right? They were not taking part in the violence. We see this when Themba notes that the women watched in silent horror. Okay, this also shows that women were terrified by the mob violence, but they had no voice.
Even do
they had no power to stop it or what. So this shows that how dominant men were in the society during apartheid, in the apartheid era, and yeah.
Also, to clear from what you have said, guys, the author is trying to show us how apartheid affected masculinity. So actually, black women were denied the political and economic opportunities, as well as like the dignity by the racist government. So there was this was actually caused by the lack of power for women, because they actually lacked power. Men were superior, women inferior. So that's where we see that basically the story shows the patriarchal dominance in dramatic stories. So we actually see that in the story where Mapula, like in page 37 is there was okay. So where Mapula ran to her uncle, to try to beg him not to harm Ling, her lover. But her uncle just snaps at her, and he doesn't even pay attention to like just. He's just like, don't even intervene in it.
Yes.
So he continues harming Linga, even though Mapula tried her best to stop him. So that means this shows how patriarchal a system dominated in the apartheid period. So women are voiceless. Women have no
I have a
power.
question on this case.
We just
I have a question on this case.
Oh, keep them coming, guys. Fine.
Like if women or we were given a power, maybe we were the one who have powers and we
Like dominate,
yes.
like the matriarch.
Do you think that the society would be like this or be violent the way it is now? Or that mob happened if like women were that?
Well, we actually not sure about that, because you can say that it was gonna be different. The society, it was gonna be a better place than it was, but not really, because women, guys, you all know that women are like they have more anger than men. So it was gonna be worse, because firstly, the first thing that comes to a woman, it affects her. She does not think twice. Like they take decisions immediately. Yes, they react with emotion. So who knows that maybe if there was the matriarchal dominance back then, it was gonna be more terrified than it was.
But okay, let's say maybe they had equal power, right? I think the society was going to turn good than it was if women had equal rights with
praise
men.
unit. We can even see at our
They
homes
have motherly love.
they have that thing of.
I hear you guys. Yes, you are right. Women are more sympathizing than men, but it does not, like, if there was only matriarch, just like the patriarchal system.
Let's say if
it was gonna be more terrified. Yes. I think that one of them worked, because they would like maybe, for example, Mapula be heard if she say no to something. But we actually don't know. But what do you guys think about this thing? Like, how would be maybe the society be if it was the matriarch?
We men want to be. Also, and I feel like that, like men are. They are always hungry for power.
They
have that thing of we're gonna.
That's their problem actually, because they are rebellious. To always listen to them. They always wanna be entitled by, like, I can say, by maybe feeling womanless, Okay, guys, so come again with us as we are going to, to give an insightful and interesting depth analysis of marginality. So you would ask yourself, how does marginality has to do with this with the story? Okay, let me just go with you. Okay, firstly, marginality is the sense of it's a sense of being forced or pushed to the edges of society. So it can be politically, economically, and socially. So in the story, we see that Mapula and Linga have accepted the realities of the society. Hence, they decide to hide their love, because they know that the societal violence and hostility. So they decided, now that we know that the society is like this, it's violent, so we cannot like just public dating, loving. So they hide their love to protect their relation, because they are aware of the situation, the conditions they are living. Yes, they are risking it. They are aware of the consequences that may come out if the people or the society finds out about their forbidden love. So we also say that Linga could not even finish his due to social and political circumstances, because we know that back then education was not even given to black people, right? So and then Mapula the side is Mapula on the other hand is a
nurse.
Yes, is a nurse, and also like she tries because she tries to, to acknowledge the realities. He tries to hide the love with his boyfriend or his lover, because they are in love. We see that the love is challenging the society.
Okay, with what we are saying, we can conclude and say that the mob has embraced living in violence and fear. This means that they were so passionate with torturing each one another within black communities.
They were actually obsessed with violence.
Yeah, the story we see Linga saying that sometimes the violence would subside on some unexpected spots. This shows that black people in that society already made peace with violence, and they always expected the West. Yes, they always knew that the West could happen at any time
and anyway.
They adjusted to this violent life.
Basically, the world, the black communities or the black world was shaped by violence.
Yes.
It's more like it was shocking them to not to see violence, because it's what they already lived under.
Expected, yeah.
Okay. Oh, that was harsh, yo.
Very terrible. Very terrible.
I can also say that the story sees the prejudice and exclusion and fear of outsiders, because we see Linga feel
like he's trying to.
Okay, Linga struggles with belonging, and also his identity. He can't acknowledge that he's Xhosa.
His Xhosa, okay.
Yeah.
Like he wanna belong to the
so that he can fit in the society.
Okay. Oh, I think that's where he tries to speak Sesotho, because
Yes,
he wanna feel entitled
to escape the situation.
Yes.
Also, to say that love is a thread, and the story challenges the social norms. Lovers became a thread in a society as the story challenges the social norms. We can see that lovers become socially vulnerable, and the community sees them as rebellious. Therefore, tribalism creates division and fear.
The social differences.
Yes.
Okay, so guys, I actually want to ask you something. How can you relate this story to other drum ticket stories?
These stories relate by looking at the hardships that black people faced in urban life during the apartheid times. They all explore how the apartheid system shaped black people's survival skills, and
Also, there is a story in drum ticket called The Bird of Etsotsi.
Oh, yeah.
You can see that there is a young man there doing things like crime
and violence. Because that story,
because that
they rob people, they kill people because they want to survive under the apartheid conditions. So yeah, I think guys, you're on point. Actually, I think you're on point. You've answered me. Yeah, I think. And also the story of the suitcase, guys. Have you thought about that story?
Yes.
Because that story also critiques the realities of apartheid oppression. Because we see that the man that's called Timmy, is risking his life because of poverty. Yes, so he arrives in the urban area, Sophia Town.
He struggles to get a job, and then he does things desperately.
Yes, he is this desperation, which costs him his life, because it turns out that it's hostile existence. So yeah, guys, to wrap up, we can see that the story shows us how apartheid conditions shaped the black people's mind and their living conditions within black communities. We can see that black people now live under fear, and they believe that they must violate even each other, try to they are being in a survival mode. We are one. We should unite, love each other, and share love, African unity, African pride. So yes, guys, that was that for today. So please leave your comments, subscribe, like. See you on the next episode.